Bob is sick, so I will be doing announcements, which means read your bulletin. No, I'm going to go through it with you. We're going to go through the bulletin real quick. So, all righty. Announcements today. If you're 18 years old and out of high school, you're invited to join us for our first 20-something weekend conference, and it'll be held in a church building on Friday evening, March 5th, and it's also on Saturday. So if, let me see, if you want to do that, just keep that marked on your calendar. There'll be praise and worship, food, fun, fellowship, and dodgeball, of course. On March 14th, we'll have a water baptism. For anybody who hasn't been baptized and wants to be baptized, you can sign up for that out at the information table. You know, the thing about baptism is it's not an option, it's a command. If you're a follower of Christ, what Jesus says is to be baptized. And so if that's intimidating to you, just maybe you'd go over and watch and see what it's like so that you can see, you know, and make sure that it's something that you want to really follow that command. Children's ministry, we need volunteers there. If you have a heart to work with children, contact our children's ministry director, and that's Pat Myers. Her number is in the bulletin. Okay? Connection card. If you're visiting and you're looking for a church home, feel free to fill out a connection card. It is also in the bulletin, and there's also prayer requests. If you have a need for prayer, feel free to put that in. We pray every Monday when we get those out, so that everybody is connected there. And then finally, our offering. We do not pass an offering. We do not pass offering plates. There are offering whatever you call those things over there. And if you are visiting, feel free to give or not to give. If you're part of our congregation, what we're doing is we're doing an outreach to the world. And if you want to be involved in that, you know what financial giving does? Here's what it says. It says, God, you know what? I trust you. That's all it says. I trust you with my eternal salvation, but I also trust you with my finances. And that's what giving is about. Also, youth camp money is due today, and you can see Kyle Kozer on that. And then Haiti bracelets are being passed out in the foyer. Kyle and Krista McKinney are in charge of that. So if you need sermon notes, just raise your hand, and we're going to dig in this morning. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, to everyone. Anybody know the story behind Valentine's? Guy was a Catholic priest back in the day, and what he would do, there was Claudius was the emperor at the time, and Claudius did not want young people to be married. And so what he would do is, because he wanted the young men to go off to war, so what he said is they can't be married, and Valentine, St. Valentine, he would take these kids privately and he would marry them. And so it was this whole heart-love thing that went on. And so out of one man reaching out to people, everyone in the country celebrates that one thing. That's nice, isn't it? Shows how much that you can make a difference if you have a vision. It really does. You can make a difference for time and for eternity. I'm sorry? Okay, there's a flyer outside for the 20-something seminar, by the way, guys, if you want to sign up for that. So, are we good? Everybody been served? All right. Well, we're starting a new series. This is a 6-week series, and it's on developing a contagious faith, okay? Now, I was looking at the word contagious, and it means this. It means infected. It means infectious. So a contagious faith is a faith that's really infectious. And I'm praying that for our congregation, I would ask that you pray with me that our faith in Jesus Christ becomes infectious or contagious to other people. Let's say that, like, when you think about being infected with something, if someone has the flu and you're around them, you can get infected without knowing it. You know, that flu has an infectious kind of thing that goes on. But at the same time, I think being a contagious Christian is the same thing. I think that you can infect other people without knowing it. But here's the thing. There's a right way to be contagious and a wrong way. Now, generally, if people know that you have the flu, what are they going to do? They'll stay away from you. You ever been around a Christian that you just want to stay away from? Because they just are, anybody know what I'm talking about? You just go, hey, I just don't want any part of that. Happened to me the other day. Just don't want any part of that. Don't want to be around that kind of a person who is infected, but in a bad way. But if you know what? If Christianity, if you get connected to the person of Jesus Christ and you look at the ministry that he put together and how he reached people, I can tell you this, you will be able to change lives. You will be able to see how he reached people, and you'll have that come out of you and you won't even know it. Now, I know the flu's not the best analogy to use, but it was the best thing I could come up with. So, the thing about it is, when I first got saved, I was on fire for the Lord, but I was totally obnoxious, and I thought that people really wanted to hear what I had to say, and I found out that they really didn't. And so what I had to do was change my whole evangelistic approach. I had to change my whole game, because I thought this is the greatest thing in the world, but when I talked to people about it, they look at me like I was totally weird. And so I just didn't understand how do I share this great thing that I have in a way that's attractive to people. And I know, in a series like this, some of you guys are like, man, this is going to be really cool, because I really want to share my faith. And other people hear the E word, the evangelism word, and they think, man, are we going to just dress up and go 2 by 2, dress up in a white shirt with a tie and be Mormons and go door to door riding bikes? That's not how it is. That's not what we're going to be talking about. We're going to look at a whole different approach to this evangelism thing. So I think for the most part, it's going to be relatively exciting. But I want you to understand this too. I'm not going to be putting pressure on you guys to do this. I'm not going to make you feel guilty about it. What I'm going to do is show you the way to give you an eternal perspective, that we can look at things differently and we can realize what the call of Christianity is in our life, that we can realize what we're here for. And I also know I'm going to point you to the person of Jesus Christ. The more time you spend with him, the more you're going to understand it. And that's the whole goal of this thing. So the interesting thing is, our weekend messages will coincide with small group ministry that we have started. We have several, I want to say 8 new groups starting. So if you haven't signed up, I would just encourage you to sign up for a small group, to get connected with some other people, to share your faith, and to see how it works out. Take a risk and sign up. You guys tracking with that? Let's take a risk and sign up. Let's really try to make a difference in the world. Right? All right, let's go with this. I'm going to start by asking the question, why? Why would we do this? Why do we want to develop a contagious faith? In your notes, I want you to see this. I'll give you 4 reasons. Here's the first reason. I call this the busy bee factor. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are going to understand this, but this is the busy bee factor. If you grew up in Madison or the Granite City area, the best bakery in the history of mankind was Busy Bee Bakery. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody ever been there? They had jelly donuts to die for. Jelly donuts were awesome, and they used to have they had awesome cream horns, and when we were kids, my brother would get them, and he would go like this, and suck the cream right out of the cream horn and leave the shell. Awesome stuff. Busy Bee Bakery was the bomb. When we had a path where we went from my house, it was a block away, right to Busy Bee. You can zip through. I showed my boys the path, and they used to go. It was back when you could get a baker's dozen. Anybody know what that is? You get an extra cookie or donut. And back then, when my kids were little and innocent, they would bring home and share with me, believe it or not. So they would share this blessing that they got. I had a friend, Bob Shipley is his name, and he would drive every morning eating a box literally